I loved God, but the truth is, I did not trust God. And the sign of that was I trusted in myself and my bank account more than God and his provision. So I came to this place where I didn't have a choice but to learn how to trust God. All right, let's talk about the 2 ways to do business. If you want to be successful, listen to this video. If you don't know much about me, I built multiple successful businesses. Man, I lived the life. Used to fly private, had a mansion, had a lake house, had a platform, had the glory and the honor, got to the top of the mountain, and I crashed. Now, here's the crazy thing about being at the top of the mountain. Yeah, there's a lot of cool benefits about that. It's pretty fun flying private, but man, I was alone. I felt isolated. I felt a huge responsibility on my shoulders. I had anxiety. I had angst. And it's just like, man, you get to this place where you achieve the things that this world says you should achieve. And if you do, like everything will be fixed. And so I had all this external validation. I was fully self-reliant. I was self-confident. It all depended on me. But yet I had these holes in my soul. I feel like I had to keep pushing. I had to keep achieving. I had to keep climbing. I had to keep making it happen. I had to hit higher goals. I can never, ever go backwards. The goalposts always moved. And the crazy thing about it is it just was never enough. Okay, if I get to this level, then maybe I will finally feel that internal satisfaction that will last. Shocking news, it didn't work. And so the first way to do business is to fully trust and rely on yourself and to never have or find a place of contentment. Now, this is very difficult to operate outside of this place if you are fully reliant and expectant on yourself to be your own savior and your own God and your own source of everything. That's how I operated, even as someone who called himself a follower of Jesus and a Christian. I trusted myself. And I came to this place of realizing when things started going backwards and I had a lot of challenges in the business, that I had a lot of holes in my soul. I had a lot of brokenness. And the reason why I needed all this external validation was because of my internal situation. I had no rest in my soul. So that was the first way that I did business. And after losing a lot and going through a lot of challenges and struggles, it all changed. The things that I held on to for my identity and my security, I feel like they were ripped out of me. I came to this place where I realized that, yeah, you know what? I loved God, but the truth is I did not trust God. And the sign of that was I trusted in myself and my bank account more than God and his provision. So I came to this place where I didn't have a choice but to learn how to trust God. So the reason why I was so self-reliant, the reason why I trusted in myself above God is because I didn't believe God was good and that God would take care of me. And as I've gone through a lot of challenges, I've experienced the goodness of God. And it doesn't always look like how I want it to look. Oftentimes, the goodness of God really is revealed in suffering. We get to go through that process to reveal how good God is and how much he cares. Now, I'm speaking mostly to entrepreneurs, especially if you call yourself a believer, is that when you put your hope and your trust in God, the burden becomes his. And oftentimes entrepreneurs, what we like to do is carry our own burdens, but the invitation from Jesus for us as entrepreneurs is to give him our burdens. I've been thinking about Proverbs 16, and really this chapter is about the part of humans in our work in collaboration with God and his sovereignty. So in verse 3, it talks about committing your activities to the Lord and your plans will be established. And it's an interesting proverb, but that word commit in Hebrew, from some of the study that I've done, it's like this picture of rolling a stone, rolling your burden onto God, upon God, and leaving it there. And so that's interesting because entrepreneurs are very self-sufficient. Entrepreneurs typically, it's like if it's meant to be, it is up to me. And yet the invitation from God is, let's try something different. Yeah, I want you to use your gifts. I want you to collaborate with me. I want you to plan things and strategize, but put the outcome on me. Now, here's the change. Here's a mindset shift as well, is understanding our motivations and why we're doing the things that we're doing in our businesses. Oftentimes, it's for some kind of external validation, to be our own source and our own security and our own protection. And God says, you know what? You can take all those worries and fears and concerns and put them on me and trust me. Now, again, you might not get all your wants. You might not get that Lamborghini, I'm sorry, but you will not be in lack. Psalm 23. And so as I've started to transition and trusting God and relying on God in my business for him to speak and to lead me and to work together and for him to inform my mind and to not be so concerned about the outcome, to put all that on him and to bring my motivations before him. Because listen, God created business. It was his idea. This is something that Dallas Willard says. God created business to love humans. And I believe that God created entrepreneurs to be a part of that process and that work and to collaborate with God. So as I've learned to trust God with my work, I've never experienced so much freedom. I've never experienced so much joy and lightness in the work that I'm doing, because it's not so much about me hitting a goal. It's not so much about me obtaining or achieving something. It's about the practice. It's about the work. It's about showing up and understanding who God's made me to be, the gifts, the talents, and skills, how to cultivate those gifts and talents and skills, and to work hard. Yeah, for sure. Show up, be diligent. But at the end of the day, it's God who causes the growth, especially when we allow him to search our hearts and our motivations. And so there's a lot of freedom to be found in this process of doing business. So again, you can choose to do it your way, be self-sufficient. It all relies on you. If it's meant to be, it's going to be up to you. So concerned about the outcome, so concerned about the goals. And I understand this. This is how I've spent most of my career. But as I'm learning to trust God, release and let go, and to show up and work and be diligent, but not be concerned about the outcomes and just put it in his hands. Man, I can't tell you just the freedom that I've experienced and am experiencing as an entrepreneur. When the motivation is love and service and to help other people, it's a beautiful place to be. It's a place of freedom. And this is the value system that I encourage you to consider adopting, because you can do it the way that I mentioned before. It's a lot of burden. It's a lot of responsibility. It's all on your shoulders, and you feel it, especially if you're tired and you feel burnt out and you're always exhausted and maybe you're restless. Like, that's one way. The second way is rest, operating from rest, doing it from rest, doing it from peace, doing it from joy. Again, hard work, diligence, yes, but it's all in the hands of the Creator who made the heavens and the earth. For you as an entrepreneur, this is the invitation for you. And it takes a process to adopt these new patterns and thoughts, but it's a good start to ask God to help you. So that's my encouragement to you today, my fellow entrepreneur. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think I'm absolutely crazy? I don't, because I have a lot of freedom, a lot of joy, a lot of peace, a lot of contentment, and I'm having fun too. All right, that's it for today. Much love.